recording, so action. So welcome back. Today we're doing more so of a critique of the Sony A9III, specifically the noise reduction. Oh, sorry, I forgot to start off. We're on the Minolta F4 24 to 50 millimeter. I just chose this lens because I just like that it's simple, clean. Plus, I didn't use it yet in this, so it's a very cheap lens. Like, I think now you can get it for like $30, $50 type of thing. And yeah, I will try to get a Japanese translator for this as well, so that I don't like so I'm more inclusive with the audience, and then hopefully the Japanese engineers at Sony do see this video, because I think that this is like a there's many issues, but this is the one thing I dislike about the Sony A9III. I'm gonna make multiples of them as a joke homage to the people who do like. I'm just gonna do one after another after another after another of anyway. We're here to discuss about the Sony A9III. Amazing machine. Today I took 2,700 photos. I know, right? So I think um I think we'll check it out in the photos and stuff, so we can really see what I am discussing about, because in the Sony A9III there seems to be slight hiccups, and this is just one of them. So okay, we'll gravitate towards the desktop. So as we look and we check out the folder, I specifically set up a folder where I have a bunch of noise reduction shoot. I took a bunch. I did develop and render out these. I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 6 plus 9, 15. So 15 times 32. It's a lot of photos right there. But essentially, I just did a lot of test shots of the noise reduction stuff. And in the beginning part, I'm just gonna go over the bug or just the hiccup in the system that I sometimes get. You know, just to be clear, it doesn't happen every single time, because I think it does correct itself. But for the sake of um this video, I'm going to really just make it simple, so that when I explain it, it makes sense. And then, like I said, hopefully again, the Sony engineers will see what I'm talking about. So in these 32 images, let's go to the viewer, make it easier to look at. But as you can see in these 32 images, it looks normal, just testing out the color schemes and stuff. But if you go to the second image, what is it, second image, or is it, third image, fourth image, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know if you see that clearly, but as you can see, it shows up, and then it renders itself out, like the blue line. And usually those blue line stuffs are, I don't know, sensor errors or something. But as you can see, it appears and then disappears. So it's like the software corrects itself or something. Like, again, I don't know how the software works. Just I am constantly just looking at it. See, this one's a big one. Yeah, this was a big one. But it's like an immediate change of different color. See, these ones are just small streaks, and this one has a big one. So I don't know. It reminds me of like an anamorphic lens thing where the light streaks, but there is nothing up here that could create those streaks, even if it is the glass walls or the windows. It didn't occur only sometimes, like I said. I can I recreate this issue? I don't know. It's like sometimes. Like I just don't know how to recreate this issue, but it's happened a few times. So then it's like, oh, well, you know, you might say, like, oh, just take the shot again, which I do. Luckily, these are just still objects, me testing out the noise reduction software. As you can see, I also did change the focus. So it's kind of like I don't know if you know this, but you can do focus bracketing on the Sony cameras, but you can't do it with certain lenses. But with the noise reduction thing, you can essentially do the bracketing thing. You just have to manually change the focus on the front. It's a bit more tedious, but as long as you don't get your fingers in the way, like this image, this is my finger in the way. But it does work pretty well, I would argue. And then we rendered, yeah, because you can see. Oh, this one was not a good one because this one showed my finger. But this one didn't show my finger, and yeah, I think I shot this at 2000 ISO. But again, essentially, these images they don't show in the preview, but when you look at it in the camera itself, it does show that line streak. But then on the computer, it does not show it. Uh, yeah, it is quite grainy. I was just like, you just test a bunch of settings. That's kind of like essentially, this is what I shoot all day. I just test the settings, see what's good, what's not good about the settings that I can choose. But yeah, let's open up these in the editing thing. But essentially, these like light streaks just go through, run through. Looks like anamorphic, but it isn't. And like I said, it occurs sometimes. Like out of like 1,000 shots, I would say it occurs once. But 1,000 shots, to me at least, is like maybe 30 minutes of shooting. It's like 100 sets, or not 100 sets. It's like 100 times 30. Um, Sorry, I'm like doing math on the fly. 10 times 30. So it's like 30. It's like 40 shots. Like right, 40 sets of the noise reduction thing, which honestly is actually fairly easy to do. Like to hit 1,000 within like an hour, like less than an hour, because it's like then I'm like culling it as I'm shooting it, and then I just readjust slightly, change the colors or whatever. Um, but these shots are mainly just to show. I was just showing the depth of field and stuff. It's just like you kind of just want to practice the color schemes and stuff, and whatnot. Yeah, see that one was a failure, obviously. I was trying to see this image. I was actually trying to see the light separation and to see the. I like to like meter stuff in the sense that like I want to see what the exposure limits of each section is, and I kind of like you kind of have to visualize it yourself. This is also, I think these are like 80,000th of a second if I'm not wrong. I shot these at 80,000th of a second. It was 10,000ths of a second, and then to 80,000ths of a second. So these darker images this is most likely the 80,000th of a second, like 250 ISO type of thing. But yeah, I was just testing the camera. I'm trying to like readjust my eyes to see that type of shutter timing, but it's just so difficult to like imagine that. But practice makes perfect. Maybe 10,000 hours with this camera, I'll figure it out. But essentially, what I was saying is that um The image does get rendered out of the pixel thing. I think it was this image, yeah. So it does get rendered out. So you don't see that light streak, even though like oh you hit the green, the brick wall, and then the tree. So I think it's just like a visual bug because of how the camera sensor works. I don't know, but this is just like one of the faults I want to say. It's not a. It kind of is a big deal if you think about it, and this is just me putting my complaint on it because, um, yeah, like I said, I don't. I think it's just because it shows up on computer, but then on the camera itself, it shows it up. It shows up, but then once I'm in the software on the computer, it doesn't appear. It only appears in the preview part ever so slightly in the viewer app, right? You see the blink of an eye, you see it, right? I'm recording this right now, so you might see that little streak right there. See when the image is like loading up, it it shows that line streak. Again, the image is loading up, shows that line streak. Image is loading up. Another one. Okay, let's go up close. That one, this one, that one. And then you can see it's like not even a bad thing. It's just that like I feel like it's like it must be some defect. So that's a slightly bigger one, tiny one. That's the biggest one. So image 2238 gets a really big line cut. And as you can see, it does it through the entire frame. But then in the software, you don't see it anymore, right? It just essentially disappears. Like, see, dash. Let's see. Hmm. You can kind of see it, but you kind of have to see it from far away. Up close, it's just more. It's just easier to see for this gradient one because it's like just a bunch of blue and then dark blue, and then it becomes light blue. It's harder to see in the yeah, but as you can see, it goes behind. So whatever something is, there must be some issue with the blue, how it renders. I have no idea if it's the sensor or something because, like I said, it happens like maybe 1,000 every thousand set in noise reduction. It doesn't really occur in the non-noise reduction, so I'm just assuming, right? This is just based off assumption that it is the noise reduction, but again, I do not know. I will talk to Sony like on the phone about this, but I just want to make this video. If I, in the meantime, I will try to get this video, at least the majority of the video, to be translated to be dubbed in Japanese, so that the engineers might be able to remedy this. And I've since I've had this camera, I've shot over 100,000 photos. I take photos every single day. Okay, so today was only 2,700. Okay, this was an off day. This was like a boring day. So again, maybe it's just me shooting so many photos. I don't know, but I think if this camera is rated to shoot 120 frames a second, it can definitely shoot millions of photos, right? But again, um, it's a great camera, but this is just one thing I dislike about it. You start if you start pushing the camera, you will see the hiccups. And I will create more videos on the other hiccups. I just have to edit the video from my phone and photos I've taken with my phone because it's like one of those things where the camera is being used and then I gotta take a video of it from a from my perspective. But again, thank you for watching. If you hate the A9III or you're jealous of it. I don't know. I think all the cameras are literally trying to replicate the A9III. I don't blame them because like you kind of have to keep up with tech. But yeah, I hope this was somewhat informative, maybe in your purchasing decision. But just know Sony isn't a perfect brand. Like I just like using their products because it's just genuinely good overall. You know, I still have this 10-year-old Bravia TV. It's 1080p, but it literally beats a lot of TVs that I've tried looking at. 4K TVs to a certain extent, but the the blacks just look way better on a Bravia. This 1080p Bravia, I just don't know why. And then when I'm scaling something of a lower resolution, it looks amazing. I've seen the 4K footage at the store, but for some reason the lighting of it just doesn't look good. So I don't know. This 10-year old Bravia's still kicking, still amazing. Um, again, but this was like when you could buy it at the Sony store. Rest in peace, Sony stores. But yeah. Um, yeah, you know, they gotta fix it. So fix it. And like I said again, I will post many more videos of just me finding the flaws after thousands and thousands of photos taken. But yeah, you know, come out.